a new year of Innovation360's Facebook Live. First time attendee, Todd Whitthorne. I wish we'd have hit record like 10 minutes ago.
No, that would not be good. Why would you want such a thing?
Todd is not just a pretty face, he's knowledgeable. He spent 3 years on Good Morning Texas.
Oh, that's
come on now.
Okay,
it was 100 years ago.
100 years ago.
3 years doing Good Morning Texas, 5 days a week. He is the face and voice of the Dallas Marathon, which is a challenge because you're running. That's it. And you got a lot of fill time. He's amazing, but that's not why he's actually here today. But you should have seen us setting this camera up. You're a pro, man. He was using terms I'm going to have to Google after this. I don't even know what he meant, but...
I'm sorry, have we met?
I met Todd 10 years ago, about 10 years ago at the Cooper Aerobics Center. Todd had been there for about 14 years, a senior executive, unbelievably knowledgeable about health, wellness, behavior change. He and I kind of hit it off because we focus on behavior change in the mental health world, him in the physical world. He's now with an organization that focuses on employer groups and healthy lifestyle management for employer groups. One particular program, Naturally Slim, we'll put some information on the website about that. They've got a website and a Facebook. Really an outstanding program. A lot of great scientific data behind the things they do. It's one of the reasons I love the work he does, that they do, and because so many of us make resolutions this time of year. Shockingly large number, millions
next
of people.
Next year I'm going to fill in the blank.
Right.
And it is now next year.
And so many people here on the 3rd are in the peak of behavior change.
Allegedly.
When do we expect that to taper off?
By next Tuesday.
Statistically speaking,
over.
It's over on Tuesday. Now, there's going to be a positivity in this, so don't hang up now. But statistically speaking, we don't do well on New Year's resolutions for a lot of different reasons.
Lack of strategy.
Not a good strategy. Unrealistic goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. So you don't say, hey, I'm going to lose 100 pounds by February? Not a good goal?
Probably not.
Probably not. How about doing the Dallas Marathon on like a month's notice?
Probably not.
Not good goals, people.
Being realistic is a great way to start.
If you only do one goal, start with that. But what I'd love for you to talk about a little bit is health, nutrition. One of the things that you and I talked about beforehand was we think in our field, the mental health field, too limited about our functioning. We tend to think about resources. I have therapy and I have medications. Our physical functioning, because I've seen you talk about this, our physical functioning has a direct impact on our mental health. The nutrition, our activity level, obesity, all of those things impact our mental health. And so you and I have talked about that over the years. I thought it'd be a great time to visit with people that really want to tear it up until Tuesday. Others that want to look at change across their lifetime, which is a better way to look at change in health rather than on January 1st, right. Even though you have a horde of you doing it, 15, 18 million of you. Share a little bit about, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about Naturally Slim, why and what you've seen from that, and some thoughts for people when it comes to nutrition and obesity and change.
Let's start up here,
okay.
And then we'll kind of bring it down.
All right.
The reality is that if you look at the data and all of the research, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but the vast majority of our health is really up to us. It is not genetic. About 20 to 30% of our overall health is genetic. Mom and dad played a role in some of that, obviously. But the majority of our health, 70 to 80% of our health, is us. And I like to say we can outsource all sorts of things. We outsource our dry cleaning, we outsource our food when we go to restaurants, and we outsource all sorts of things. We pay people to do our taxes and mow our lawn and all of it. You cannot outsource your health. Yeah. It's completely up to you because of the 7.5 million people on the face of the earth. No one can exercise for you. You can't pay someone to eat for you or to sleep for you or to manage your stress or to all the things that we know that are critical, and none of the things that really make a difference are magical. We all know that physical activity is fantastic. My background's in kinesiology and exercise physiology. I will put that at the top of any list, that if you want to improve your health, start moving. I love to say, walk the dog even if you don't have one. But the reality is you can't outsource people. You can pay people to walk your dog. You can't pay people to walk you. And so the reality is we have to figure that out. But the great news is the body is masterful at doing what you ask it to do, good or bad. As you know, the body will react. And this time of year, it's very logical to want to make change, right? The calendar is shifting. It's a new year. I want to do X. I think it really helps to be realistic about what that should be, and then understand that starting new habits are a heck of a lot easier than breaking existing habits. And so many of the things we talk about are doable, and if you can just figure out a way to do it on a regular basis. Habits, I love that whole concept of habits. Aristotle used to say that we are what we repeatedly do, that excellence then is not an act but a habit. And a habit is nothing more, and again, I'm preaching to the choir here, a habit is nothing more than something you do without thinking about it. So experts say that at least 40 or 50% of our daily activity is habitual. Brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, getting in the car, and automatically putting on a seatbelt without thinking about it. How do we figure out ways, because health is all about habits. It's not about what I did today, it's what am I going to do over the next 30, 60, 90 days, 30, 60, 90 years. How can we develop healthy habits? And that is where I think people fail this time of year, is they go, I want to do this, but they don't really have a strategy as to how to make that happen.
And God, we could talk about all those pieces. One of the things I thought about that I think we mislead ourselves, there are companies now that you can pick up your food, and it's healthy food. We have a lot of great trainers out there that do great work. But that's just a small part of your day, and that's not usually what causes us problems. I have a friend, it's not a client, so I can share it. I have a friend that had been seeing a trainer 3 times a week, was in his 50s, successful executive, and he needed to lose about 50 pounds. And after about 3 years, he hadn't lost a pound. And I said to him, you should file charges against your trainer because he's stealing money from you. Because I don't know what y'all do, but my point is, 3 hours a week is not going to lead to healthy habits.
Well, and the other thing that pops into my head right now is the understanding that no matter what, your feet cannot outrun your mouth.
No.
You can spend days and hours in gyms, and you're not going to necessarily lose weight until you change your behavior around food.
The only time that applies, because we're just over the holidays, I've got 2 boys in college. Part of my entertainment is watching them eat, because they have a burn rate that is astronomical. They burn thousands of calories just sitting. I'm in awe of that. I mean,
that'll change.
That will change, and that's part of my point, is that now I'm in my 50s. You can't tell because I dye my hair, so I look old and right.
Got it. It's all about credibility.
Exactly, and so but now I can eat 1 piece of pizza. I can't eat a whole pizza like them. I don't have that burn rate.
That right there is an important message.
Yes.
You can eat pizza.
Yes.
And manage your weight, but you can't eat the whole pizza.
No.
So thinking that you're going to lose weight by denying yourself the foods that you like, I think is a major, major mistake.
It's one of the big things, and I think it was you that I heard it from, that don't talk about a diet. A diet's a list of what you can't do. We as humans don't work well with that. Think about health. What's healthy and in moderation, right amounts, understanding your body.
It ultimately boils down when people say, hey, I want to talk to you about nutrition. I always ask a question right back. What are we talking about? Are we talking about weight or are we talking about health? 2 very distinct topics based on your goals. Now, there is overlap, no question, don't get me wrong. But many times when someone is talking about losing weight, that's a much different strategy than improving your health. So if I will never do this, but if I were to write a diet book, I already have the name of the diet book picked out. Are you ready?
You want to see if they can guess?
Well, wait, I don't think this is interactive, is it?
It is, but I bet we don't get responses in time. So,
okay.
Let's hear what your diet book is going to be called.
It's very simple,
Okay.
and pardon my French, cut the crap.
Oh.
That's the easiest, most logical place to start if you want to improve your health. Your brain, obviously when we're talking about mind-body connection here, your brain is the most metabolically active organ in the body. It burns more fuel than anything else. It is 20 to 30% of the calories we put in our mouth is going to power our brain. It makes logical sense that if you put good fuel in your gas tank, it's going to have a positive impact on the way you think, the way you feel, the way you show up. Every aspect of your life will be improved. So start by just taking a step back and going, what am I putting? You know, when I talk to kids, I say, think of your body as a car. What kind of car do you want to be? Do you want to be a Yugo or a Ferrari? And of course, Yugo's been out of business for years.
Kids so we can use them. So don't send emails.
Yeah. But, you know, Ferrari, Bugatti, Lamborghini, Maserati, you have all of those cars, I know. But the reality is, if you had a Bugatti that's a $2 million automobile, you would not put crud in your gas tank. You would put high quality fuel. So think of yourself as a multi-million-dollar machine, which you are. It's a wonderful gift, and put proper fuel in it. That's the easiest way to start eliminating the crud. Then you can start thinking about, okay, I like that. That's healthy. Let me bring a little of that in, and that's all about just improving the quality of your fuel.
Let me talk a little bit about bad fuel. I don't have a Ferrari and a Bugatti. I've got better. I have a Ford pickup truck.
You do indeed.
I have a Ford F-150 and a bike.
Yeah.
Now, back to the crud and how it affects our mental health. Caffeine, energy drinks, all those things that are quick foods that have packaging that says healthy or vitamins or all this. If it can sit on your shelf for weeks on end, it's not healthy food. You don't need to read a bunch of books. If it lasts for weeks, it's not good food. Good food goes bad. Now, what happens is we end up using food to give us energy, to wake us up, and food does stuff for us. It has a comforting emotional piece to it. And so as we step back and look at those energy drinks, diet drinks, and I drink some of those, but I'm very cautious because it does have an impact on my mood and my energy.
No question. We are what we eat. Adele Davis said that a long, long time ago. It's absolutely true. We control what we're putting in our gas tank. When we think, though, at this time of the year, statistically, we've got almost 70% of American adults are either overweight or obese. You know,
I don't think people realize my favorite slide deck in the world is from the Center for Disease Control on Obesity, and it's a map from the 80s to currently of each state. 2/3 of this country is obese. The health burden and the mental health burden.
Well, technically overweight or obese. So we want to be. We don't want to.
Okay. Yeah.
Statistically, all those terms, overweight and obese, are based very, very specifically around
numbers.
The body mass index.
So overweight and obese. It's still not a good picture.
No.
Because those things have a huge impact on our mood. And when we don't watch the fuel we put in, it starts to hurt the machine. And so we have to take medicine for cholesterol, for blood pressure, for joint pain. And when we have joint pain, we exercise less. And all of those things
that contribute to diabetes, which is by and large most of the time a preventable condition, and it kind of steamrolls.
So what else do people need to know that is helpful as they try to look long term about being healthier and losing weight?
You know, it ultimately boils down to what is it that makes sense for the individual. If the goal is to feel better, I want to feel better. I don't want to hurt as much. I want to be able to move more easily. A great place to start is just to move more. And start where you are. Don't try to boil the ocean or go from 0 to 60. Start where you are, not where you used to be, where you want to be, where Kevin is. I mean, a triathlete, for crying out loud.
Don't boil the ocean.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Love that. Don't have a huge goal. Just walk.
Baby steps.
Walk the dog even if you don't have one.
It's absolutely true. And it, you know, the data says we should be getting as adults about 150 minutes of moderate physical activity per week. which really boils down to about 30 minutes most days of the week. But you know, that it seems like a lot. It's really not. We have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. That's 168 hours. So if you want to invest in yourself and have a really positive return on that investment, figuring out a way to go on a 10 to 15 minute walk once, twice, 3 times a day. Start where you are. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to join a gym or climb a mountain or be an elite athlete. You just have to be moving, and that's the basic fundamental. We were born to move, right? To run and jump and fall. All the things we did as kids. That's a great place to start this time of year.
Yes, so let me point something out. Since you talked about me, I'm tempted to talk about you, but we'll run out of time. Yes, I'm a triathlete. You're very active yourself. Let me just dispel the myth that it comes easy for people like us. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. I've learned so much in our relationship, talking about different concepts. I think completely different than I did 8 years ago about health and about nutrition. And I've done away with things like diet and working out, and I've replaced them with healthy eating and being active, because I'm now at an age where I do want to have a level of functioning and feel better and have more energy. That's not going to come, unfortunately, through caffeine or supplements. It comes through the fuel we're putting in our body. So it's not easy. I don't know many people that nutrition is easy, because it's constantly changing. I can't do what I watch my college kids do. No, my body is changing. And what I have to be mindful of is it is changing. I can change with it.
And listen to your body.
Yeah.
One of the most, if we want to pivot a little bit and talk about weight.
Last thought, yes.
It's not what you eat. It's when and how you eat. And if you're being driven, if your behavior around food is being driven by the time on the clock, you're not listening to your body. There's a difference between appetite and hunger. And it's okay to eat what you want within reason. You know, you can have barbecue or pizza or hamburgers and still lose weight. We've got amazing data to support that. And all of the science and research indicates the same. It's not the macronutrient combination of fat and protein and carbs. It's listening and understanding what your body needs and responding to that. And that's what, you know, we deliver that to large populations of employers. And it's fascinating to watch when a group starts having success together, the social dynamic nature, social contagiousness. It's awesome. But the body is beautiful at doing what you ask it to do. Just put it in a position to respond, and you'll have great success. It's not complicated.
Yeah. So here's, and while it seems like we started on a dream killer kind of, hey, you people are going to be done by Tuesday, it's actually, I find it unbelievably encouraging over the years, talking with you and people at Cooper and at the parent company of Naturally Slim, that, you know what, it's actually manageable. When you look at a goal to lose a massive amount of weight on January 1st, and I'm going on this diet, that is overwhelming at times. It has been far easier for me to think about losing weight and being healthier over the long haul by incorporating some new habits. And habits take several months to begin to get some traction, not 21 days doing it every day. It's going to take a couple of months for that behavior to not take as much thought.
And you may have some starts and stops, and that's normal, understandable, predictable. Don't, you veer off the road a little bit, it doesn't mean you're in the ditch. It's okay, don't beat yourself up. Don't trip over things behind you. That's the other message I would say, and I hear it all the time because I travel around the country and speak to groups. Everything in the past is in the past. Your body, it doesn't matter what's happening. You can improve your health like that. And you'll feel better and look better today and moving forward if you just change a few of your behaviors. It's not that complicated.
It's really not. And you've seen it through Naturally Slim. I've seen it in work we've done with Cooper Clinic. So I absolutely want to encourage you, stay after it, but maybe look at it a little bit different than you did December 31st. And Todd Whitthorne, absolutely appreciate all of your work and knowledge, everybody at ACAP Parent Company, but Naturally Slim. We'll also put y'all's Facebook page and website, and love the work you guys are doing. Thank you so much for being here. Probably going to have him back, because he's not just a
Wow.
pretty face, he's got skills. He does great work, and I appreciate it greatly. So thank you guys, and we'll see y'all in 2 weeks with Ken Osayan. Don't miss it. Very nice.